start off with the opening prayer. Someone raise their hands. I'm just kidding, it's a joke. Gotta start prayers with everything. Alright, so my real name was Michael Christopher Lambert. But when one of your uncles already named Michael B. Lambert, and your other uncle is also named Michael and he's gay, that's true. You kind of try not to go with that too much. So, I was raised in a junkyard, and so somehow we got the name Clutch, and then my brother was named Tranny, which was all good until he got older and he actually became a tranny. For you, if you don't know what a tranny is, go look it up on Urban Dictionary. Don't put images in though. So anyways, you might be able to tell by looking at me, I'm kind of a hairy wildebeest, hairy creature. What'd you say? No? Okay, you're hairier. For a guy that goes to BYU, Idaho, I'm kind of hairy. I know, that's what I'm saying, I go here. He out-hairs me, but that's alright. So anyways, growing up in high school, my family was like known as the hairy family. We're the real hairy guys. And, we go to like outings with our friends and things. And you'd be on the boat. You'd go to like your young men's boating activity. So you'd be on the boat and everybody would be like, hey, take off your shirt. You don't need to wear that shirt on the boat. And you're like, no, I'm all right. Long sleeve shirt. You're pulling it up so no one can see your hair coming out of your body. And so they'd be like, all right, you're your next kid. Go out there and get on the boat. And you go out there and you're skiing, water skiing on the back. And you got the guy driving the boat. And he's looking at you and he says, hey, tell that kid to take off his sweater. And then the little kids on the back of the boat, hey, take off your sweater, man, you don't need that. And you're just like on the back, I'm not wearing a sweater. Because it's just your hair and all. But, yeah. So, I came from this place, my high school, we were called the Wilton Bears. That was our high school, our mascot was a bear. But we couldn't afford a mascot. So they ended up going to my sister, because she was the hairy one out of the family, and they said, could you be our mascot? We don't have enough money for a real mascot outfit. And so she said she would do it. And it really hurt her self-esteem at first, being always making fun of her having like the thickest mustache in our family and stuff. But, so, my sister became the mascot, and she said, hey, I guess this is a good thing, it'll boost my self-confidence and stuff. So we'd have these big football games, and my sister would just show up there, and she'd just wear a shirt with a B on it, for the Wilton Bears. And she would just have no costume, no thing. And so the crowd would get crazy during the football games, and everyone would start going, oh yeah, let's go! And, on both sides, and the more the game got on, the more crazy people got. So she would just get crazy with it, just, because it was just like our natural instinct, like the hairy family. Like it doesn't help when one of your great uncles came here from a galaxy far away, and he was Chewbacca, he immigrated here. And then like the other side of my family were a pack of wolves, were in our bunch, in our bloodline. So naturally my sister, when she'd get in the mood, she'd just get all crazy, just going all wild with, these animal instincts. So the more crazy these football games got, the more crazy my sister got. Until like one day the game's going crazy and she's and everyone's just cheering on. They think she's a good mascot and all. Until she actually got so crazy that she ripped off the head of the quarterback and he was dead on the ground. So they asked me to be the mascot after that. They're like, hey, you're one of those Lambert kids that lived in the junkyard, right? The hairy kids? And I'd be like, yeah, I am. They'd be like, well, do you have another sister or brother you want to be the mascot? And I'd be like, well, I'll do it. And they'd be like, no, you look more like Winnie the Pooh than anything. So, I tried it, but they're always like, oh, cute, cuddly Winnie the Pooh. Didn't really work. But, so I recently, in the past year, got incarcerated at Madison County. That's not a lie. That's a true story. And, when I got locked up, I was really nervous. I never gone to jail, and, you hear all these stories, and those things are true. So you go in there, and you get handcuffed to the table, and they're talking to you, and they're going, okay, we'll find you a bunk mate. And I'm going, hey, buddy, just, James, your milkshake's here. So they're going, okay, we're going to put you in cell B, pod A. And I'm going, all right, who's my bunk mate? They don't care. They're not going to tell you. And I'm like, all right, well, can I? I was really hoping to get the big jumpsuit, really big baggy one. But they ended up giving me, instead of a medium, they gave me an extra small. So, I walk into the cell, I'm carrying my little box of bedding, and it's like an extra small, so it's just really, really tight everywhere on my whole body, and I'm just coming in there. And they got some guys in there that have been there for a long time, so they're looking at you and they're going, who's this kid? They're pretty excited to see fresh meat in there, and they're going, hey, naughty boy. Hey, naughty boy. And you're going, hey, man, I just got in here for reckless driving, I'm not a naughty boy, what's going on? But, they're looking at you in your tight jumpsuit. And the pads in there, the mattresses, they're literally like this tall, this squishy, filled with like old barn hay. And so, like, some of the guys will take their pad and, like, double them up. And they're like, hey, I got double pad in my bunk. And you're like, that's cool. I don't even need a pad. I'll sleep without it. But, so you start making up stories to feel tougher. You go in there and everyone's tattooed right up to their neck. And, you're coming in there and you just look. You're like, I go to BYU, Idaho, and hi, good morning. It doesn't really, everyone's just going to, they're thinking, naughty boy, come here, kid. So you just start telling stories about, to impress these other guys so you look tougher. So I started telling these crazy stories. I was like, they're like, what'd you do to get in here? And I was like, well, last week I saw this little kitten running along and I took it and I curb stomped it on the ground. And you start telling these stories, I was doing illegal cat abortions in the back alley. All these cats didn't want to have their babies, so I was doing them. I wasn't even paying taxes on it either. So, when I was in there, I started talking to these guys and seeing what they did. And one of the guys is actually a member of the KKK. Boo, can we get a boo? He was a nasty guy, really nasty. But he was telling me about the KKK, and they have their monthly meetings where they get around. You don't ever hear about the KKK doing anything. All they do is have meetings and, just like do power chants and white power things and stuff like that. But come on, they don't even do anything these days. So I asked them, I said, well, what do they do in these meetings? And say, well, we get together and we talk about things we hate. So I'm thinking, all right. So first they get together and they go, they're got all their guys. Well, what do you hate? And the guy says, well, I hate black people. Yeah! And everybody agrees with them. And then they go, what do you hate? Well, I don't like Jews. I don't like Catholics. And then they just go down and basically cover all the bases and say, oh, I don't like non-white, whatever. And that's all they got. So after a while, so many meetings, you can't just keep saying the same thing together. So they get together and they say, well, what do you hate? And the guy goes, well, I don't know. You talked about all these things. Like, well, I hate onions. And then the other guy goes, yeah, I hate onions. Everybody joins in. And they start asking, well, I hate Dale Earnhardt Jr. He's my least favorite NASCAR driver. Well, I hate waiting in line for the DMV. And it just goes on from there. So now they're just hating on anything they can. But after going to jail, I was really worried, really scared for my life. I didn't want to get killed and get beat up by all these gang members because I was affiliated with the Rexburg gangs and whatnot. And so I went on eBay and I bought this thing, and it was called like this lifesaver. I don't remember what it was called. It slips my mind right now. But anyways, it's this jacket that you wear that just protects you from anything. Just protects you from evil, protects you from getting beat up. So I buy this jacket, and I put it on, and I'm like, oh yeah, this thing's going to work great. And so I start doing like all these crazy things. Like I start, going in my truck, just going crazy, jumping off, bridges and whatnot. And then I just start going up to guys, and I'm like, hey man, let's go, huh? Let's go, buddy. And, it worked pretty good because it just got this boost of confidence, and everyone's like, yeah, whatever, oh, we're good, so they don't try to fight you. But one day I go to this guy, and I'm like, come on, buddy, let's go here. Let's fight, come on. And he's like, oh, yeah, let's do it. And then I was kind of taken back. I'm like, why does this guy want to fight me? I got my life power jacket on, and he's not intimidated by it. And in fact, it did the opposite, because he says, why are you wearing a life jacket? And I said, it's a life protector. And he says, it's a life jacket, PFD for water. Yeah, well, it turns out this thing is actually a PFD. But I'm going to sue the guy because I'm not really confused why it's called a life jacket. It only protects you from water. Anyways, I went to this party last week, and I'm going to take off my jacket. It's really hot in the lights. But I went to this party, and all these guys, no thanks. All these guys at the party, they walk around and they try to act real tough to impress these girls. And they walk up to girls and they're like, "Hey, what's up, baby?" And they start doing like these muscle pumps. And so, to get girls, you guys have been to the parties and you guys have seen these guys with the muscle pumps. They do it all the time. They wear like little tiny shirts with like cars on them so they look really tough. And then they get to the party and they're like, "Hey, what's up, baby? I was zone leader. I'm on mission, yeah." And they say like, "Yeah, I basically live at the gym. I got really good genes and make good babies. I want to be like Bishop someday." And they say all these things to get girls. First I thought it was really douchey. So like, I got my skinny jeans on. I went to this party. Wore an extra small shirt. And, I start going up to girls and I'm like, "Hey, what's up? I had some macaroni for lunch." And I don't know what to say, I'm not naturally good at this. I'm naturally undouchey, at least I like to hope so. But, these guys, they're doing all this stuff. And so I just like limber up, stretch and get in there. And then I go out there and I'm like, "Hey, what's up?" But then these guys just come out and they're just, wearing these big sunglasses, bandana, and they're like, "What's up, baby? Damn!" And all the girls like it. Anyways. So I recently went to a public bathroom. You guys ever been in those? They're crazy. So I was in the public bathroom, and I just started thinking how awkward things are in there. They're really awkward. So you go in there and you sit down in the stall, and then someone comes and they sit down next to you. And you're like, "Oh, crap." Now you don't know what to do. Now you can't go to the bathroom. Now you just got to sit in there and like pretend you're doing something else. So you're just in there and you're like, "I'm just coming here to make a phone call." And the guy next to you, or the girl, whatever room you're in, they're doing the same thing. Like, "Yeah, I'm just over here relaxing. Just sit down." Because if you make any noise in there, it's going to be awkward no matter what the noise is. You make a... That's the last thing you want to hear. And so they don't even want to like pull the toilet paper. They're scared to do that. So you just try to cover it up with other noise like just in here. But the crazy thing about that is the urinal is the exact opposite. The urinal, you stand up there and you're like using it. Now you have to make noise or it's awkward. So you're sitting next to the other guy and you're like making no noise and you're like, "Come on, do this." And that other guy's just like, what are you? So, you just like freak out and you're just like, and you just get out of there before you're done. But when you're on the toilet, you're just waiting for that moment when you can make that noise and everything's good. So you're just sitting there, okay, just wait. It's like you're an army sniper with your gun and you're just out there waiting. Okay, just wait. And then all of a sudden someone comes in and, hits a urinal. And that's your time to go and you go. And then you get up there and you get out of there while you still can. Thank you, everybody.